Hey everybody, welcome back around to the blog and grill. I'm your host Doug here with your video blog for June 28th, 2013. Time to get to the latest in the Aaron Hernandez murder case. A third man has now been arrested in Florida. Police have captured Ernest Wallace in Miramar, Florida. They captured him early Friday afternoon, just hours after Connecticut judge ordered Carlos Ortiz turned over to Massachusetts authorities. Ortiz, they picked him up on Wednesday near Bristol, Connecticut, and they picked up Ernest Wallace this afternoon in Miramar, Florida. So they continue to find more people hooked to this case. Hernandez, as we know, is being charged with murder in the slaying of semi-pro football player Odin Loyd. Hernandez is being held in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. He's pleaded not guilty and is currently being held without bail. I think ESPN's done a very good job of this. We saw them break down with Bob, who was it? Bob Schwartz last night. Mark Schwartz last night, breaking it down, going through the timeline, all the evidence. Really, ESPN's done a good job. They've talked to Sheriff Hopkins as well. He's the head sheriff at, I believe it's Dartmouth Correctional Facility where they're holding Hernandez. They've talked to him a lot. They've gone inside the jail to show us what the inside of the jail looks like. I think ESPN's done a very good job, and I applaud ESPN and the Dartmouth Correctional Facility along with the Attleboro Police Department for letting them get in there, show people what it's like, just to show them how bad it is and how much you do not want to get tied up into that. So Hernandez is likely going to be there for quite a few months, and there's more on ESPN.com, a good article put out by ESPN reporter. Who wrote this? This is just from Mike Rice from ESPNBoston.com. Very good article. Check it out. It breaks down everything in the case thus far. Really does a good job, so check it out if you're into what's going on with this guy. All right, NBA draft was last night. Just a quick shout out to Michael Carter-Williams from the Syracuse Orange being drafted 11 to the Philadelphia 76ers. And that leads right into our winner. I think the winner of the draft was the 76ers. Second round, they drafted Pierre Jackson. First round, they made a trade. They traded Drew Holiday, which was a big-time player. They traded him to the New Orleans Pelicans for Nerlens Noel, a first-round pick, and a 2014 first-round pick. And the 2014 draft is absolutely stacked. Big pickup for them, and they get Michael Carter-Williams. They're my winners of the draft. My losers are the Detroit Pistons. I don't know what they're thinking. They got Rodney Stuckey already. They have a good core. Brandon Knight, Rodney Stuckey, Jose Calderon. And they go out and they get Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Didn't really mind that pick. Then they go out and get Tony Mitchell, who is an undersized power forward from North Texas. And they get an undersized point guard in Peyton Siva from Louisville. Don't know what they're going to do with these guys at this point. My favorite pick of the night had to be Otto Porter Jr. to the Washington Wizards. I think Washington should really be better than they are. They have a good point guard, all-star John Wall, a coming-up player in Bradley Beal. They got Nene, who is a very good center, Emeka Okafor, who was good in UConn. Then he was pretty good in Charlotte, good and decent in New Orleans. So they just have a good core there, and then they got Otto Porter, fill out their lineup. This team could be very solid. Worst pick of the night, I have to say, is Solomon Hill to Indiana. I think Solomon Hill is a fabulous player, but I think going to Indiana is bad. He's going to play behind Paul George, Danny Granger, just a lot of guys there stacked up there. David West, Roy Hibbert. They have good big guys. They got to get good guards. George Hill, Lance Stevenson don't really get it done for you. I would have much rather have seen them come out and get a point guard, maybe an Isaiah Cannon or another guard to just start to implement some offense. And finally, my best trade of the night has to be the trade for the Utah Jazz and the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves, I shook my head when they drafted Trey Burke with their first pick in the draft. They draft Trey Burke. Minnesota already has a point guard in Ricky Rubio. And really, Trey Burke's got to be your point guard. He's got to handle the ball. But then they make a trade. Mo Williams, a free agent in Utah, so they make a trade. They send Trey Burke to Utah. And Minnesota gets back two very good players. Shabazz Muhammad, who can absolutely score the ball like few others can in this draft class. And Gorgui Dieng, who is a very underrated big man who can go to the rim. He can run rim to rim very well. And he also has a little bit of a mid-range game as well. So I think that was a great trade. And those pieces can be used as Gorgui can play some behind Kevin Love. And I think it's going to help them out nicely. All right, that's my NBA draft coverage for sure. It's time for Take Your Pick. Weekend style after the big blockbuster trade last night, sending Garnett, Pierce, and Jason Terry to the Knicks. Celtics. Who will win the Atlantic Division next year, Nets or Knicks? Right now, my pick has got to be the Nets. They're going to have a good young coach in Jason Kidd. This is their starting lineup. Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Brook Lopez, Jason Terry coming off the bench. They're solid core right there for sure. So I'm picking the Nets to win the Atlantic next year. NASCAR this week is at Kentucky. Guy that's dominated at Kentucky, Brad Keselowski, will start to get back going. He gets the win tomorrow night under the lights. And Wimbledon, we've seen many upsets throughout the week. Is this Andy Murray's shot to get to a final? Novak Djokovic still in it, but Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, Joe Wilfried Tsonga, and really the only guy standing in Murray's way is David Ferrer at this time. And I think Andy Murray will advance on to the final to be played next week. He will keep on keeping on right now. And right now we have a tie for the best record in baseball between the Cardinals and the Pirates at 48-30. Who will lead the NL Central after the weekend? I am picking the one and only Pittsburgh Pirates to win this weekend. They will be a game up following the weekend. I think the Pirates will sweep the Brewers. Cardinals will take 2 out of 3. All right, so now it's time to go to the Score Center app quickly and do our American League East update for tonight. The Yankees are going to be in Baltimore, taking on the Baltimore Orioles. David Phelps has been scratched from the start. It will be CC Sabathia. Let's see here. CC Sabathia versus TJ McFarland making his first big league start tonight. Detroit and Tampa Bay going at it at 7:10. As we'll see Max Scherzer versus Alex Colomé. And Toronto and Boston keep it going down in Boston as we'll see Allen Webster versus Josh Johnson. All right, so Monday I'll be back with Thumbs Up, Thumbs Down, Athlete of the Month for June. Follow me on Twitter at YankeeBaller415. Check me out, jbsmooth84.com. Thanks for tuning in to the Blog and Grill. Have a good one. Comment, question, subscribe, ask me a question too. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good weekend. See you on Monday.